point taken. I'm going to widen the debate in a moment, but let's just hear once again, for those who missed out, exactly the manner in which Paul Henry made these remarks. Why we believe here on CNN IBN the man must be sacked. Let's listen in. The first time, remember, that he said, because the New Zealand host remarks have been made before. Padma Rao, tell us your views. You know, you've been involved with the Foreign Correspondents Club. Let's imagine if a similar thing was said in India. What would be the reaction? If a foreign correspondent said that, would he not be sacked or suspended?
Well, Rajdeep, I'd like to speak largely for, what I find really incredible is that New Zealand is a country with an immigration policy in place. So I do feel that the television station has to go a little beyond just suspending him. From what I understand, he's been suspended till the 18th of October. So I do think that, this goes, I'd like to take the example of Germany, which doesn't even have an immigration policy in place. And there was a similar situation when there was an anchor on a popular German television station, which wasn't even a public broadcasting service, and she said something. She quoted, what used to be displayed outside a concentration camp: "Arbeit macht frei," work liberates, and she was immediately, unconditionally sacked. And this is a country without even an immigration policy in place.
Right.
So I find it rather peculiar that New Zealand, which is basically, which consists of an immigration, which has been made by immigration, and which very much has an immigration policy in place, shouldn't be stricter than this. And I think suspension is really not sending out the right message. I think New Zealand society really needs to take a deep look, especially from the feedback that this remark got.
Point taken. Sam Miller, you worked with the BBC for years. You teach young journalists. What would happen? What would the BBC have done if Paul Henry had made the kind of comments on the BBC?
Well, I hope to think that someone like Paul Henry would never have been employed in such a role in the past. There have been a number of incidents, not quite like this, on the BBC in recent years, and strong action has been taken. I think in the end, though, it's not for us sitting in India, us former anchors, TV journalists, to start shouting at other TV stations and telling them what to do. It's their job to do it, and it's the job of the New Zealand public to react to it.
They're not doing it. The man has been suspended for 2 weeks. He earlier made remarks about a Governor-General, says he doesn't look and sound like a New Zealander. Again, he was suspended for 2 weeks. This is a country, as Padma says, with an immigration policy in place, a country with a large Indian immigrant policy. Don't you think we have a right to be agitated, Sam, in this country?
Well, you're absolutely right to be agitated. There's no defence for what he said. It was embarrassing and idiotic, and even the people sitting in front of the camera with him clearly were embarrassed by the whole episode. But we can be agitated, but to what end? We can't actually go and get rid of him or force him to be sacked. Are you suggesting we do something to take diplomatic steps against New Zealand? That would clearly be absurd.
Okay.
I don't know what you'd really like us to do about it.
Well, what we would like, we believe as the strictest possible action should be taken. Karan, before I come to you, since you're defending what the anchor has said or done and suggesting we are making too much out of it, let me play you that clip again and then tell us, Karan, what you feel. Here's how Paul Henry was behaving in that TV program and talking about Indians and Sheila Dikshit in particular.
Is it Dikshit? Oh, Dikshit. Oh, Dikshit.
Dikshit. It just looks different to what you say.
Well, it looks like...
I know it does, Paul, but it's not that. It's Dikshit.
There she is, there. Sheila... Anyway, and it's so appropriate because she's Indian.
Is Ms. Dikshit.
Oh, Dikshit. Well, that's what I said, isn't it?
No.
No, you did not. You
said so funny.
Else.
Can we just have another look at the key? It's just so funny, isn't she?
Okay, let me come to you. Karan, that is not innocuous. That is offensive.
Rajdeep, first let me correct the mistaken impression that you've conveyed to the audience. I wasn't defending what the anchor said. I was in fact criticizing the overreaction of the Indian government.
Sure.
There's no doubt that this was intended as a joke, but it was a stupid joke. It was a bad joke that backfired, and it was distasteful and wrong. But that said and done, I think the sight of S.M. Krishna frothing at the mouth is equally misplaced. I don't think India needs to lower itself to a level at which it starts getting its knickers in a twist. Let's take things in perspective. This is an anchor in New Zealand making a silly joke. His own country thinks that in fact he's crossed the boundary of propriety and decorum. And let's leave it to the New Zealanders to sort out themselves. Let's not start frothing and getting worried for no rhyme or reason.
Okay.
Because you're overreacting.
Overreaction. Okay, point taken, Karan.
It deserves.